Alrighty then, it's time for an Amumu game, everyone's favorite fetus baby. Which one? And what makes this game particularly funny is the kind of the irony of the whole thing. What's your two? Look at the enemy team. They've got a four-man squad, right? Matchmaking sucks. I asked my teammates, are any of you in a three-man, four-man, or two-man? And they all said they're single players. Kind of sad. Kind of funny too, though, because Amumu, the champion with no friends, is fighting against a four-man group of friends. The enemy Jin is so miserable throughout the whole game. He's just like, oh man, I hate being the lone man out in a group. Either way, runes and masteries are what you'd expect on the Mumu. I'm also going tank Amumu this game for a very specific reason, and I'll explain that in a second. Anyways, Magic Pin Red, Armor Yellow, Magic Resistance Blues, Ability Power Quints, although Movement Speed Quints can also do well. And my masteries are actually wrong on this one. They're 12, 0, 18, but they should have been 0, 12, 18. Anyways, the reason why I'm going Tank Amumu this game, even though I particularly like Holy Hand Grenade AP Amumu, is because their composition is like a high-ass damage comp. And my composition is very frail. Well, not frail, but our damage is very reliant on the Ziggs and the Caitlyn being able to do what they want to do without any interruptions. So I need to be a strong frontliner, and I have to back up the Olaf and the Blitzcrank in team fights. My general idea for this game is that me and Blitzcrank will either initiate him by pulling somebody and us instantly blowing him up, or by me going in there and just fucking up the enemy team with my ultimate. That's my whole idea. And by going Tank Amumu, it will also allow me to attract the aggro of the enemy team, and hopefully the Olaf also bulldozing through them will force them to focus fire on him, while Ziggs just lobs artillery fire. That's my idea. We're going to go full-on team composition. If you see the enemy team as well, their composition is very bursty. Alright? Their team comp is very bursty. By the way, that flash, I wasn't intended to go over the wall. It was intended just to angle myself so my Q can hit in a way I can, so my ultimate can hit them all. Plus, this little chase here, as much as it sucked, thankfully Ziggs managed to get the kill for it, and he gets himself blue, so I get to snatch blue. Anyways, back to what I was saying about the team fights. The enemy team is very bursty, so if either me, Olaf, or Blitzcrank can attract the aggro of Ryze, Lucian, and Jhin, they're going to completely suck against my DPS dudes. Again, pound for pound, Caitlyn probably loses to Lucian or Jhin in a fight, but if we force them to use their stuff on us, then Caitlyn should be able to win out a fight if we last long enough or something like that. So that's my idea. I'm going to be building tank items. I'm going to be building to counter this Ryze because holy shit, his damage is going to be ridiculously high throughout the whole game, and so on and so forth. I'm also going for a control-esque kind of game. You can see that I bought Tracker's Knife, and I also bought Red Trinket. My idea right now is to sort of go where the Gragas is and just try to slow him down so my teammates can make it to the mid game. And also warding and whatnot, just keep my teammates prepared. Because if any of their champions snowball this game, no matter what strategy I have, we'll probably just lose because we won't be able to kill them. Our damage, again, is very reliant on Caitlyn and Ziggs, or Olaf if he got really, really fed. So it's just one of those, what you would say, fragile compositions. Anyways, I also wanted to talk something about Amumu. Some of my fans on Facebook were talking about how Amumu constantly has a super high win rate, like 55% and shit like that. But why is he never seen in competitive or whatnot? The thing is, while Amumu is really strong in solo queue, he's ridiculously weak. Like, he's got a lot of counters, he's got a lot of counterplay, he just can't keep up with a lot of good champions, right? That's the general stick of it. However, when it comes to playmaking in solo queue, he's really strong because he has something from the old champions, something a lot of newer champions don't exactly have. He's got instantaneous abilities, and in kind of one of the more fancier ones. Look at a lot of older champions. You'll see stuff like Fiddlesticks has the instant fear. By the way, you can see Ryze has ridiculously high damage. Fiddlesticks has his instantaneous fear, and he has her instantaneous Tibbers drop, and with a passive it can stop. It could stun, I mean. Amumu has an instantaneous ultimate. The second you press it, shit happens. You're in the middle of the enemy team. Bam, all of a sudden they're all CC to hell. That's the general shtick of it. And in solo queue, even an idiotic monkey can understand that when you press your ultimate as Amumu, it's go time. Like, here is a very good example of that. I don't think the Ziggs knew I was going to initiate on this Jin. In fact, he was backing off. But the second I go in there, he's like, oh shit, it's game time, motherfucker. That's exactly what Amumu does. In solo queue, just like even if you're not really particularly good, just clicking your ultimate and getting some of the enemy, it just will tell your teammates, hey, stop fucking around. It's time to show us Stop fucking around. It's time to throw down. That's what I was trying to say. So he's the instantaneous playmaker. If the enemy is out of position and you flash ultimate, it's like they have no time to react. They get punished immediately. It just sets things up immediately. But again, in more serious environments, competitive and whatnot, they're not going to do that kind of shit. They understand what Amumu wants to do, so they just play around it and they crush him and they make him kind of worthless. That's why he's strong in solo queue. He snowballs out of control. He punishes the opponents for playing like idiots. And so if you ever really just want to level up in lower divisions, just spam Amumu. He's ridiculously good for a reason down there. You'll actually see what I mean too by the whole instantaneous punish somebody very soon. As you can see, this game is so far... Sorry, I'm kind of sick on the throat right now. As you can see, right now my team is just crushing them. We got off on the right foot. The enemy team is constantly out of position, and here I get to punish them immediately. They just didn't bother to split up. So the second they group up, ultimate, my teammate comes in, bulldozes through them, kills a Lucian, instantaneously murdered. Ridiculously easy. That's what I mean by that ultimate. Just the second the enemy team is in range of it, they're gonna get screwed, and there's nothing they can possibly do about it except having cleanse or something. And that's what makes Amumu strong. That's what makes Amumu pretty much one of the de facto best solo queue tanks you can ever play. And I can't stress that enough. Even a drunk monkey knows when you press R as Amumu, it's time to throw down. So just keep that in mind throughout this whole game. There's going to be repeated mistakes from the enemy team, and they're going to get punished for it. Anyways, watch this. This part is embarrassing, though. I missed my Q and I missed my ultimate. I should have just known that Lucian was going to dash. I didn't even know what I was thinking. I'm going to assume I blanked out, but that was still really bad. Either way, we've gained pretty much full control of the enemy jungle right now. But because our ultimates are down, our team fighting capability is ridiculously poor. And because we're split up, there's jack shit we can do. And that's my team's weakness. If my team, no matter how fed we are in the early game, if we split up, if we're not together, we're insanely weak. Like I said earlier, pound for pound, every single one of their members is better than our members. Right now, though, the Olaf is one of those late game champions, so yeah, none of theirs compares to him. But in a team fight scenario, if he's by himself, he'll get torn to shreds. So right now, the whole shtick for my team is to sort of look for a pick. If I manage to grab Lucian or Blitzcrank manages to grab him, we'll tear them to shreds. Otherwise, Olaf is trying to split push. We're trying to set up wards and do the whole starving mechanic thing. Or at least tactic, where we just starve them out and get bigger through items. Because even if they're stronger than us pound for pound, when it comes to gold, we might still beat them. Anyways, here's what I mean. They're in a poor position, and they just, once again, don't pay attention to the fact that I'm coming in. So the second they group up, clump up, I go in, ult, they're dead. There's just absolutely jack shit they could have done without a cleanse. Like, they need to keep wary of that. If they were a little bit wiser, they would be warding more, and they definitely would not be clumping up. Again, not even just for me. They wouldn't clump up against the Ziggs. It just happens to be that me and Ziggs have great synergy, but just getting them together in a little ball and him blowing them the fuck up. But here's another example here. They kill Ziggs, pretty much our second most important character in the team fight. And as a result, we're forced to retreat because we'd have absolutely jack shit for damage. Caitlyn alone can't do anything. However, they give chase, all right? They give chase, and the Olaf purposely gets himself caught. Or, I guess, somehow. He gets himself caught, and because of that, they burn so much shit on probably our tankiest hero, and we just get to turn around and destroy the shit out of them. I mean, Olaf would probably still have killed someone by himself, and may have still survived because he had his ultimate, but that's sort of what I mean. Me, Blitzcrank, and Olaf are right now serving the purpose of aggro magnets, although Olaf is serving the dual purpose of just absolutely fucking up the enemy team because he got really bad. So that's an honest to goodness good role you can be. And the other video, I also went through the whole idea of anchors, right? If you know who can carry or whatever, that you pick them as an anchor. In this game, I felt I had no choice, right? Like I explained it earlier, I don't think if I went AP Amumu, I'd have any chance of actually achieving anything, so I had to rely on Ziggs and Caitlyn to do it all. So they're anchors by default. Anyways, the enemy team is doing Dragon, but once again, their attention is very split up because they're worried about dying. And as a result, they don't get Dragon fast enough, and I'm able to sort of calculate it in my head. Thankfully, the Gragas missed Smite, so I managed to get it. However, my team is way too split up for me to consider using my ultimate until it's too late and I die. So we do get Dragon, but it costs us 3 of our guys, and we only killed 1 of theirs. Still, though, they can't really mount too much an offensive, and Ziggs is able just to sort of push back. However, unfortunately, right now the Olaf is going to get a little bit too close, and he's going to get killed. Right now, once the mini wave comes in, he gets a little too close, he gets snared, and they just completely blow him the fuck out. But he fucks one of them up ridiculously well. Well, him and Ziggs, and Lucian gets absolutely blown up. Unfortunately, on that return, Ziggs also dies. My throat kind of broke up right there, right? So, sorry if I sound a little bit weird. Still, though, again, the whole shtick right now is that they can't kill the front line in any adequate means, and we're going to be drawing all their fire. Again, I want to stress that out a lot because it's something I don't see a lot of players do. Like, they'll pick someone like Jarvan or even Amumu, and they'll be like completely focused on building that one offensive item build or something like that, and they'll get absolutely punished for it. This one, I felt my build and Blitzcrank working together, and of course the Olaf being so damn huge, is what helped us pretty much win the game. And of course, Ziggs and Caitlyn responding appropriately. Here, I'm just trying to force them to engage on me. I go on Thresh. There's jack shit they can do. They don't get to do any damage. So I'm just waiting for an opportunity to rise up by forcing them to sort of throw all their shit on me. And here, the Lucian gets too goddamn cocky. Yeah, I can't kill him myself, but of course I can set him up, so I don't even know what the fuck that was an attempt for. And I bought Randu and Zoman specifically for shit like this. Like, if I get them by myself, and I can just use Randu and Zoman and slow them down. And then just sort of hold them long enough for my teammates to get through and eventually kill them. That was such a ridiculously dumb thing that Lucian did, and as a result, the enemy team was forced into a fight they can't win because it was in our favor, the front line in the front and the back artillery just blasting away at them, and we're able to win. That's kind of sad, really. The power of their friendship wasn't as strong as the power of complete strangers, and I guess proper team composition and proper itemization. Hooray for Amumu! Most of you probably didn't make it this far because apparently no one likes watching Amumu videos. Hooray! That's sad as fuck. This channel is supported by my sponsors, Crunchyroll and Loot Crate. Check out the description below for links to the websites. Signing up for any trials, including Crunchyroll's free anime trial, greatly supports my channel. Also remember to give the video a like to support the channel and subscribe if you haven't yet.